What If, Series 1, Episode 3, titled What If the World Lost Its Mightiest Heroes? And this episode is fantastic. This is a really, really good episode, which was kind of what was echoing to the people who were able to get the episodes early. That people were like, Episode 1 is great, Episode 2 is great, but Episode 3 is fantastic to the point we don't want to lick a piece of detail of it. And now, watching this episode, I can understand why. It's a really, really good murder mystery. It's a really well done murder mystery. Like, the only thing I did not like was a little bit like, I don't know, was the identity of the killer. But the plot and the mystery itself and how they're trying to merge the events of, around the first phase of the MCU, because so in the multiverse, the reality that the Watch is showing us this week is a reality where the Avengers gets killed off, they get assassinated in the span of 1 week. In the events of Iron Man 2, of the first Thor, and the Incredible Hulk. So they're killing off the Avengers before the Avengers became the Avengers. And you're just like, okay, how will that character be okay? No, is that character gonna be no? Okay, what about you? I mean, you're fine, right? No, like how do I spoil this? How they get Hulk? There's something with Hulk. I was like, oh dear Lord, it is brutal. They do it cartoonily, funny enough, it's anime, but they do it cartoony enough to maybe worry the PG-13 wing. But it's just, as you see, the journey of it, trying to figure out who's killing who, and to the point you're just like sitting back and just like letting it unfold because you just don't know who he is. Because I'm thinking, okay, we're in phase 1. So it can't be this, okay, it can't be this character, it can't be that character, it can't be this character, it can't be a bunch of it, because most of them kind of get introduced in, like, phase 2 and 3, and, like, I was going through my head, and the person they revealed, without hearing spoilers, I was like, okay, might not. It's one of those things where, like, I'm not fair. Like, it's a shocking reveal, but it's kind of a okay reveal. Who the killer is, but you get voice. But this is an episode that has a lot of actors coming back. You got Samuel Jackson being Nick Fury. You got Clark Gregg being Coulson. You got Tom Hiddleston being Loki. You got Mark Ruffalo being Bruce Banner, and Jerry Renner being Hawkeye, Jamie Alexander as Sif, but the list goes on and on and on. They didn't able to get, because Black Widow's in this, they didn't get Scarlett Johansson, so they got Blake Bell to voice her. She's good, she's fine. You can kind of sense, like, this is the same Natasha, but it is played by a different person, and they're doing their own take with it. Which is kind of, this isn't. The good thing about What If is, because they were unable to get everyone back, there's always the fun thing of, like, seeing different takes of a character. So, able to see a different take of Iron Man, seeing a different take of Black Widow, seeing a different take of a couple weeks ago with Iron Man. With Steve Rogers. It's a good way to do it, and even if, it's voice actors, and then, they get to be that character for a week or for a different take of that character, it's a really well put together. And here's the thing, it does take for me a little bit with this episode again, just because they kind of did that at the beginning, a little bit of, with the first episode, with the whole, hey, it's just first Avenger, but it's just slightly different. they do a reenactment of Iron Man 2 with the cafe scene between Tony, Fury, and Black Widow. So with Tassa. So then I was like, okay, this is gonna be another like, oh, it's just something different. But no, it immediately averts expectations. It's just a really good episode. I don't want to spoil much. I don't want to give away much. Go and watch the episode yourself.